Let's start broadcast. Okay. All right. Hey guys, what's up? So, welcome to the Fire Easter event. We're starting a little bit late because we had to switch on to handling production ourselves. Well, Chris, how are you feeling for this game, man? How are you feeling for this game?
Man, finals are always my thing. I'm always a big fan of finals. So, I'm enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm catching the cruise.
As
I'm
in,
really looking forward to who's going to walk away with that big money. 500 USD is no
as
joke.
in, mad
At
stuff.
least, I trust, I trust that all of the teams will be bringing their best, and I'm looking forward to seeing how those teams are going to be handling it together.
Mad stuff, mad stuff, mad stuff. I also do trust a lot of these teams as well. So we're gonna be quickly hopping into the game right now. So yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So currently, Chris, we are on ground with Ooh, so sorry, just give me a second, guys. I have to get Priest's audio into the scenes. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the first time I'm. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna go copy it. But in the meantime, guys, give us just a quick, little moment here while I just copy his audio into the games itself because it was in the camera, but it's not in the game screen. So I'm just gonna paste that here and I'm gonna paste that here. So now I believe, Chris, that we should be able to hear you within the game. So yeah, shout out to your fans. Oops,
Yeah,
oops,
big
oops,
shout
oops,
out,
oops.
but I don't know why my face is inside this game fire.
Don't worry, is it gone now? Is it gone now? Is it gone now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it gone now? Is it
this
gone
guy,
now?
this guy production. Yeah. It's good. It's good. We're good. I don't know if my
No, no,
audio
no,
is
no,
in
no,
the
no, no,
game right
no.
now, though.
Rulas is, it's, Super Sports Sky TV. This is AIT production.
AIT for
This is
real, bro.
AIT, bro.
AIT for real. But you're doing good though. You're doing good, at least
Yeah.
based off of what we have
Yeah.
here right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No. Production, production, oh,
Uh.
production. They receive call.
Less. Less.
Production, they receive call. This cruise na highest. ah.
Less coming for production. Less.
Ooh.
Have fun now.
Okay. Um, so how are we looking? Are we looking good? Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready to go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a formal welcome to the Fire Easter Hunt, the finale, day one. We've got 4 interesting days for you, running from today, the 5th of April, 2023, till to the 8th of April as well. And you can tell that all of these teams are already starting to, their fingers already starting to itch here. Freak from UGX is going to just pop a couple of shots over that northern side towards the guys from Fugitive Esports. Again, there is a knock right there. The revives are already coming through, but Escobar will be surprised by Freak there, getting ready to pop a couple of shots with the M4. And that's that Joker. Just the smoke's already there just to hide their position. As you can see, Freak is just popping through on top of this little area here, just trying to get an idea onto the guys from Fugitive. Oh, Escobar does drop him immediately there. But the cover fire is brilliant from Boogeyman.
Man, amazing stuff coming from the guys from UGX, but also all the way around that region in Milton, we do have two teams. It is the boys from Afro Esports who are getting into a loose skirmish with the boys from ULR. Now, do you know this team and sort of like what they're capable of?
Oh, Ultimate Rage. Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I did at the first group stages where I did a little bit of the casting. I was a big fan of them. They're very aggressive, super aggressive
Amazing.
team. Especially Slay and Phantom, very strong players as well. So I know for a fact, they are very capable of winning games and winning games with significantly, high numbers. I do believe I've seen them perform very strongly in Miramar, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can repeat, what I've been used to seeing so far in this tournament. So I'm a big fan of you, Ultimate Rage, really, and I think they are one of those stronger teams that have been in the PMCO Africa, at at some interesting stages. I believe I've seen them, go square toe to toe with other big teams in the African region. So, hopefully I'm seeing more and more of them. I mean, speaking of right now, they already got two eliminations, and I think that's courtesy of the guys from Afro Esports. So hopefully, I will be looking out for them. I believe we'll be seeing more from them, going into the rest of this game.
All right, so we'll see how they continue to perform as several different teams are already making their rotations into that zone. We do have a zone that's shifting all the way towards that southern region. As you can see, several teams are already making their rotations and, might be getting into little skirmishes. We do see the boys from Apex getting really close to the boys from EFX right there. We might see something go down between the two of them as everyone's now, does beginning to make the rotations. You can see the shots being let loose right there by Super and Firebird. But, oh, that DBS, man. That DBS. Again, we talked about this in the semifinals. Finals, how dangerous this DBS can be.
Ooh, yeah, the DBS is not your friend. It is so unfriendly, and that is Moonlight. He is going to be moonlighting away from the guys from EFX, but they will drop him immediately there, Carl. And Supra doing a fantastic job holding out against guys from Team Apex. Apex down now to one player, Blessing. And unfortunately, Moonlight will be snuffed away, courtesy of the guys from EFX. EFX already getting themselves some significant number of eliminations, but Blessing will be hightailing it out of this position. He was going to live to fight another day. And that's the work of that DBS, really changes the whole perspective of the game for you, Fire. I mean, we talked about, how dangerous the DBS is, but then it is only still a matter of how dangerous it is in your hands.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly. Exactly. I personally have the opinion that the DBS should be nerfed one way or the other. That's my own personal opinion. I may not be right. But now, turning the sights onto the boys from 21st Century right there, we do see them getting an elimination onto the boys from UGX as UGX is now sent down into a two-man squad right there. But they do have 4 eliminations to themselves. I'll take a two-man squad if I do have, 4 eliminations. But the boys from 2021 are still holding their own right here. As you can see, one of the players does go down. This is the boy Power, and the rest are left to somehow try as much as possible to hold this position as Roy does go down as well. Frick is putting in the work. He drops one down. He drops two. And Prince, would you look at this?
UGX defensive position absolutely brilliantly secured right there. Freak will find Power and eliminate him as well. Baby, he is going to be spotted and uprooted from the buggy, and he is going to be in a little bit of a sandwich there from the north and the south, trying to get him down, and they will be successful as Freak is going to put the final shots into the guys from 21st Century 21. They did not do something today, and it's very unfortunate because this is their part of the map. They are very, very good, playing in Sosnovka, the military base. They are very, very strong in playing there, but unfortunately, this time they just got into a little bit of a sandwich. They got way in over their heads. Most of these teams already made those rotations towards our southern edge, so they already got blocked out and blown away, unfortunately. But that is just it's unfortunate, but it is just game one of today, so they do have a couple of games left to redeem themselves. So does Habitual Gaming with a 4-man team here. I believe they are trying to scale through in this area. Jealousy will hop into the vehicle with Jet Fury just to find a little better angle for them to play with. The rest of the team will be pulling up to shore, and hopefully the guys from Habitual will use the high ground advantage, to work something from these corners.
All right, so we'll quickly take a look at the map and see where it's sort of going to right now. We're currently in that stage 2, and there's so much shots letting loose at different corners as the boys from UL do find themselves a good position. They're currently sitting down with 2 kills to their name, and like Free said earlier on, they're one of the teams, who are sort of favorites right now to somehow come on top. They found themselves in a good position, and it's all down to, how they continue to rotate and the zone as well. Because sometimes, Priest, like, sometimes these things are just down to locks.
Yeah, it really boils down to a whole lot of things. when you're playing at this level. But Ultimate Rage have been very consistent coming into the final so far. I believe they are one of the top three strongest teams, honestly, because based off of their style of play, the aggression, and they do not back away from any kind of engagement, as you can see. But EFX is equally, very, 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 very equal to the task. They might just decide to pop in a couple of shots through this area, and I believe that if EFX do get a knock here, they might just take that push. They are that team. They will take the push, but again, it is Ultimate Rage. You have to be very careful. You have to make sure your plan works every single time. But then EFX already down to three players, unfortunately, and that's just a disadvantage that they might just have to work with again. So they really have to be, very decisive as to how they want to take this engagement. I mean, they have a very solid position out here. They do not necessarily need to cross, the express for any reason. But so be it if that is going to happen. If they will get that knock and turn this into a valid 3 versus 3, maybe they might stand a chance of eliminating one of the biggest threats in the lobby right now.
Amazing stuff going down there as we are seeing the action being let loose right there. The boy Super are trying to see if he can get a knock onto one of the players from Ultimate Rage. It is Moon who's been dealt a little bit of damage. Now, guys, before we go further, this is the first game, right? Let us know if Priest mic, sound, audio, if there's any problem, maybe the sound of the game is a bit low, just let us know quite early. Let's solve all that in the first game, so at least the following games are absolutely perfect. But going into this game, we've still got 13 teams, sitting down right there within that zone, and it's about to shift all the way into that stage 3. And you can see that zone right here. I'm just going to put up the map. Is shifting all the way towards that central, south central region. And there's a lot of buildings for those teams to work with. So I don't see a lot of people crashing into themselves. But we might have one or two, problems right there at the bridge. But I guess the zone decided to move all the way to the toughest region, as a lot of it is now
Hey!
within the water right there.
Oh my days, man. Royal Academy should be thanking their stars right now, because I do believe they have a very fantastic position just outside of that southern area. I think they can escape the guys from UGX if they're careful enough. UGX are just a two-man team. There's only so much damage they can do against a full squad. So if Royal Academy can just, position themselves in a very, very good area right here, they will be able to eliminate the guys from UGX and take over their position and maintain a split, on the southern edge. That will be a defining moment for them. But it is an interesting play zone right now, because we still have the water in play, literally cutting, right through the middle of the play zone there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of these teams, will be managing on this side of the play zone.
All right, we're now seeing the boys from Invictus get into a skirmish right there with O3, and one of the players from O3 does get dropped down, as well as the return coming in for Snip. And they also call the boys from O3 are, trying as much as possible to stay alive in this particular one, hold on in this fight. It is one player dropped down at all sides. And Priest, I mean, just take us through this one.
I mean, Team Invictus, very, very strong team when it comes to holding our positions. Now, this is a very, very, very clear. They're trying to, gatekeep the team from O3. Ace is going to be looking just overhead, towards Rogue Baby's position. The grenade might just connect right through there. The smoke's already giving out a little bit of an idea and position, for the rest of these teams. They're trying their absolute best just to hold it down, but there might just be something in store for them if they can hold out this area. It's going to be a very, very difficult one for the guys from O3 to maintain, this particular area and get themselves into an interesting position just to work something out there, because No Name has been knocked away. I'm not sure if the revive will come through just in time, but it is going to come through courtesy of Ace there. But now Cyclone Shield will be pulling up as well, and I think that is Danny Brown. He is going to be crashing inside, and Cyclone Shield, this might just be the opportunity they've been looking for. The first set of eliminations that might just work through for them. Again, O3, No Name goes down once more, and now Danny Brown charging the grenade. He's trying to send some Easter eggs all the way up inside that building, but nothing connects right through. But Rogue Baby from the rear end comes right through as well, knocks Ace down, and now it's an opportunity for Danny Brown to steal the eliminations, cook something. And there he goes, first elimination down, and the second one might just come through as well. Cyclone Shield reaping where they did not sow. Beautiful play from Cyclone Shield, just pulling up at the right time.
Man, absolutely amazing stuff coming in for the boys from Cyclone Shield, coming in, getting one elimination for themselves in that particular position right there. And you can see now they will be looking to turn the sights onto the boys from Invictus. So you can see Manny getting quite close, looking to see if he can get a knock onto one of the players right there from Invictus and trying the best possible to see if he can keep them at bay. And letting loose onto that position where Rogue Baby is currently at, but it doesn't look like they're able to drop down any one of them. But actually, that's not Rogue Baby, Prince. That's Rogue Daddy.
Seriously, I don't
But
even know who's
okay, there's
calling up
there's Rogue
these.
Baby, there's Rogue Daddy.
Okay, okay,
There's Rogue
that
Baby,
is
there's Rogue Daddy.
interesting. That is
That's
actually interesting stuff to be
that's
acquainting myself with. But the rest of the guys from Invictus will still be on the other side of the bridge right there. I don't know, if they're aware of no, that is Rogue Baby. That
no.
is Rogue
There's
Baby,
Rogue
right?
Baby, there's Rogue Daddy. I saw
Yeah,
Rogue
but
Daddy got
Rogue, okay, okay,
yeah,
Rogue guys actually knocked. Oh,
yeah. Both of
back
them are in
into
the
lobby. Both
afterlife
of them
now.
are back into the lobby. And they've gone rogue, but Most Wanted still will still be hanging out just on this extension of the bridge. An unfortunate scenario here, but the DBS going to come right through again. Snipping away at Danny Brown, sends him to the ground immediately. Manny will be sending a couple of shots through just to give cover fire, but Most Wanted will use the grenade instead to drop Stoner as a 2 versus 1. And now Cyclone Shield are in deep, deep trouble, and that's the disadvantage of holding out these positions when it doesn't work out for you. And Invictus using this advantage every single chance that they get. Most Wanted 3 eliminations to him. And Snip is still trying to hold out against the guy from Cyclone Shield, but he peaks up just a little bit too long. He's warned, 40 HP. But Most Wanted will still be hanging around this area, trying to get a knock there, just to swing something by towards the guys from Cyclone Shield as Roach tries to escape the danger, but he is going to be spotted. A couple of shots sent his way, and surely Roach will be dropped down to his knees, and Cyclone Shield out in 12th place. 7 eliminations to Invictus.
Man, Invictus putting in the work right there as they do get themselves those eliminations that will count all the way in this finals. And, we talked about it earlier on today when we were doing a little bit of analysis within the group that, Cyclone Shield is one of those teams that you definitely, will be looking at as favorites to get that winner chicken dinner. But before we proceed on that, let's take a look. As we're moving on to that fifth stage of the zone, you do have the boys from Ultimate Rate and Habitual currently surrounding that central region. But it does look like it is the boys from Royal Academy who are getting into a skirmish right here.
Yeah, Royal Academy. I talked about their position. It is very, 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 very solid. It's a solid position, but unfortunately, Afro Esports will be sent away in 11th place there, courtesy of the guys from Men of Blood now. And I talked about this Royal Academy as a 4-man team. They are very, very dangerous there, and they are going to catch True, drop him down almost immediately there. Lyra actually doing a fantastic job. Freak surely will be spotted here, trying to get a couple of knocks right through, but the numbers are just overwhelming. As Royal Academy will be claiming that position courtesy of the guys from UGX. And I talked about this, they did have the numbers advantage, but Ultimate Rage will be spotted as well and sent back courtesy of Habitual Gaming. The numbers continue to dwindle one after the other. EFX have actually crossed the water now. All they have to do is find a way inside of that next play zone, and I believe they will, survive at least a little bit longer.
Now let's turn our sights onto the boys from MOB. You can see Creed and his boys are doing a lot of damage onto the boys from NP right there. They do drop another one of them. It does look like it's just Prison who is currently left in this particular position. And you can see Rage and the rest are currently pushing on to see if they can get that final elimination. But Prison trying to hold on for their life against the boys from MOB as they do drop his HP down to pretty much what is 1 HP. And it's not looking quite great for the boys right there from NP as their numbers are currently dwindling right there, and they will get sent back into the lobby. We're currently sitting down with about 6 teams left here in this position, and it is tough at every single corner, Bruce.
Every single corner, so many bodies, but Royal Academy still maintaining that southern position like I said that they would, and they are doing a fantastic job. They started to get a couple of eliminations. They did take out the guys from UGX. Unfortunately, it did take them a little bit too long to master that position, but at least they were able to execute it perfectly. So we will be working out for them at least for the time being. Have a little bit of play zone that will be moving around, and navigating every single area. But Team EFX will be pulling up to that western side, trying to just peek inside and get an angle onto the guys from Men of Blood. Men of Blood doing a fantastic job, eliminating the team that they just pulled up on, and that was low pressure, pressurizing them, eliminating them, and sending them out. But that eastern area will be controlled by the guys from Men of Blood, and hopefully they will be holding out that position.
Man, it is violence at every single corner. You can see the Bosham Royal Academy hanging on to their life right there as several different teams are looking to hold on a good position. Sitting down in the center, you do have the Bosham Habitual who are, currently just trying as much as possible to hold this spot there. It's looking quite good for them if they can keep their numbers together. You can see them trying to pop on those smokes, being absolutely smart to provide the cover as they turn the sights into the Bosham EFX, throwing in that nade, might do the Bosham EFX some damage as they do try to proceed into that zone. And with that shift all the way into that state 5 of the zone, now is where things now begin to get really, really, really sticky for a lot of these teams who will be looking to get themselves into that favorite spot.
Talk about favorite sports there, but that sport right now continue being construed by Invictus is definitely not their favorite right now because habitual gaming, courtesy of Psycho, will be sending all of those bullets in that general direction, but the smoke's already starting to come out. So fortunately, he will not be spotted just in time. But Most Wanted is going to have to move and skedaddle really, really quickly just to get inside of that play zone. There's so much work to be done, but fortunately for them, they have a little bit of play zone space to work with. But Most Wanted is going to be spotted there. Very, 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 very close shave for him as he's going to be tagged up in a very, very vicious spray by Cycle there. But Cycle is going to turn his sights towards that south of his position, and that is the guys from EFX trying their hardest to get inside of that play zone. They are going to be called out just outside. And now Psycho has to do a fantastic job of holding him out together. But Royal Academy here still fighting demons against the guys from Men of Blood. Men of Blood will be holding the northern position. And it looks like they might just decide to make that push all the way towards this area. And now it's left to Smoker. Is he going to take the 1 versus 2 against the guys from Men of Blood? The revive's already coming up. But Like a Boy will be dropped away. And now it's an opportunity for the guys from Royal Academy to take this engagement. And again, the spray is coming right through. But Smoker is going to be playing behind, going to do an absolute bang up job there, just trying to hold the rest of his teammates. But unfortunately, the sprays coming in from Invictus are going to do damage. But Men of Blood will come out on top. Rage and Creed working a fantastic double team to eliminate the guys from Royal Academy.
Man, a really tough one coming in right there for the Western Real Academy as they did have the numbers at first, but MOB playing that one quite smart, coming in with 2 men, managed to get that position. Coming in with 3 men actually, managed to get that position quite well, and they do have a couple of eliminations, but for themselves. But speaking about eliminations, there was some Invictus are currently sitting now with 7 of those. Although they're a 2-man squad, it's just 4 teams left, and they might just be able to pull this one off. They've got pretty much what is an edge of that zone with proper smokes. They might just be able to pull this one.
Yeah, it all boils down to the utilities. How many utilities can they get off, right out the gates? There's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. Habitual Gaming do have 3 eliminations, and hopefully they will be able to score a little bit more and that chicken dinner just to boost the numbers up. But I spoke too soon here because EFX will be catching 11 and Pyro will be the one to drop him away, but the play zone will be claiming him instead. And now the guys from Men of Blood have a whole lot of work to do to get those numbers back up and to get themselves just a little bit inside of the play zone as Magic will be scheming and scanning towards that eastern side. I believe the guys from Habitual Gaming will be maintaining it, but Magic is ready for their push. He's just waiting for them to peek outside so he can get that first knock, and maybe they might use that advantage, to push them all the way back. But then, the play zone is already hot on their heel. Might just decide that they will send maybe one person in front or use the utilities or even use their vehicles, and they chose the vehicle route. But is it going to work? Yes, it does. They will be moving ahead and they will be eliminating the guys from Invictus. Men of Blood.
Absolutely amazing stuff coming in from the guys from Men of Blood as they will now be turning their sights onto Habitual, and it's pretty much a 3v2 situation right now. You're seeing another player right there from Habitual getting dropped down, but at the end of the day, they can get and claim that winner chicken dinner. They got themselves 6 eliminations in that particular one, and they're looking quite great to continue to see if they can grab this title of the Fire Easter Hunt. So great stuff right here. It has started off to a great time so far, Priest. and
Yeah,
it
definitely.
is looking
It's
it's looking quite great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely looking very, very great. For these teams, Habitual Gaming already starting off very, very strongly. Unfortunately, they did not have as many eliminations as I would hope. Based off of the way the point system is now set up. Eliminations are very, very crucial. They didn't do the double
Your
digits
camera is
thing.
off, by
You
the
know,
way.
I- yeah, I'm
Before.
having a little bit of a technical difficulties
Okay,
on my
okay, okay.
end actually.
No
Yeah, so
problem,
I'm
no
trying to
problem.
fix that up right now. So by the time we get into the next game, it should be fixed.
Okay, okay, all right. All right, no problem, no problem, no problem. So Priestwood fixed his camera. Like you were saying, habitual gaming is stealing that game home. I do believe the leaderboard is going to be out at some point in time. So maybe before we start the next game, we're going to see that leaderboard out. So guys, we'll be taking a quick break and we'll be right back for some more action in a little bit. So don't go nowhere. We'll see you soon.
What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life. You like to drive, get down and dirty. Act like the bad guy. You want some love, be like when you feel like calling midnight. You got the best of me. You got me losing sleep. I've been hopeful, baby. I was hoping maybe that you cross my path. I've been sinking lately, and it's hard to move. Think I'm stuck on you. We're in transits, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wonder, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. We only get this life. No guarantees and stars align. Follow your passion trail and try to keep an open mind. Hiding it by myself. No guarantees you'll find me. Said if it's faith you'll find me. Leaving the past behind. We're in transits, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wanna know, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. Whoa. used to make you calm, kissing and massaging. It's days like these that make me wanna go and try things. Busting up the seat, now I just wanna go and rock things. Made a lot of greed, now I just wanna go shopping. I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, raindrops fall, sun goes by, whole new day, trying to get by. Seeing you cry, it's made my day now. Trying new ways now, going all gray now. Used to be around you, but it's a whole new place now. Used to go alone, but it's a whole new trip now. Oh, am I gone? And it's a whole new race, yeah. That I won't ever go lay down. I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh.
Det var första gången vi möttes. Våra blickar bara möttes. Kommer du ihåg det igen? Kommer du ihåg det igen? Du vill ha ice and little fingers. Då du vet det chalas. All in, ingen broms, schackmatt på din vänster hand. Du är så viktig baby. Ja, du är allians. Du är försiktig baby. Men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby. Men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby. Ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Som dig baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Aldrig titta på någon annan. Varför du med annan? Kom var med mig baby. Aldrig lita på någon annan. Finns ingen annan jag vill ha min chakarina. Låsa och save ingen sinna. Jag kommer alltid ride with you. 100 gubbar klart jag die for you. Du är så viktig baby. Ja, du är allians. Du är försiktig baby. Men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby. Men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby. Ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Visa mig vart du finns. Du kommer väl till min city? Nej, jag vet att det finns. Kom då, det är bra lives and all nights, yeah. Jag vet att jag min kör det. Skön social smart good lady. Jag tvivlar det. Visa mig vart du finns, yeah.
Just a count. Hey, what's up, guys? So, welcome back. We're about to get back into the game right here. It has been some real violence that we saw in the first game, and I hope you guys are ready for number twos. These teams have got only 4 days to make sure that they find themselves all the way in that top. And Priest, like we say a lot of times, the first 2 days are very important.
Yeah. The first 2 days are definitely very important. You have to be very, very certain on the kind of strategy you want to apply. I mean, most of these teams, they've been playing, from the group stages to the semifinals, and now we're at the finals. So most of these teams, at least at one point, they've clashed into each other. They've gotten into a little bit of an engagement or a skirmish or something. So they've learned about each other and they've known how to navigate whatever play zone comes their way. So all all
Okay.
all it is a build up into the finale. And now, they are here. They're in the finals. They are one step closer to walking away with 500 USD, 300 USD, 150 USD. It is within your grasp. So just
Exactly,
take it.
exactly. So let's take a look at the current leaderboard for now while we do move into the game right there. Yo, fish show
Trust
for
me,
a moment.
anytime, if you do that again, I will throw up gang signs. I will throw up gang signs.
All right.
Believe me.
All right, so Habitual currently leading the charge right there. But in the meantime, we're going to move straight into the game and see where all of the teams are currently situated at. So taking a look at the game
Ooh.
right here, we do have several different teams already getting into the mix right there. It does look like the boys from Active Gaming have gotten themselves into a skirmish. One of the players are currently knocked out. It does look like Surge is AFK right now. I'm not too sure what's happening in that region, but there's also something going down between the boys from 21. 21, they might be doing something for us today. They've gotten themselves into a little bit of the action. It does look like the rest of the players from Active Gaming are just going to pull away from that position and find themselves in a better one. But the boys from O3 and MOB are currently really close to each other right here. Right here. So what you got to say on this start?
Well,
21
very quick
eliminated.
start. I mean, very quick start. Very, very, very quick start for that matter. Ooh, 11 does peak out just a little bit too much, but forgetting about Nexus 03 with a beautiful split. And now 11 from Men of Blood is going to be the victim. He is going to be the casualty of the beautiful split being handed out by one of the strongest teams in the region right here. 03 Brothers already getting their first dose of an elimination, courtesy of the guys from Men of Blood. Men of Blood have been absolutely fantastic so far in the tournament. In all tournaments generally. I've been watching them around every single tournament that they've been able to, participate in, and I've been very,
Yeah.
very impressed with them. O3 as well. I think O3 did do a fantastic job in the semi-final stages and even in the group stages. They did hold out most of those teams especially in Miramar. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can keep up that energy. I mean, this is a great way to start. Nexus already getting that first elimination and onto 11 of all people, so that says a whole lot. But again, we did see earlier Active Gaming did lose someone. I believe that was Gaudier, their newest signing. Like I say, this signing, no, they too never they show himself just yet, but hopefully, it will be it will take him maybe a little bit of time for him to adjust to the scales. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. All three brothers, however, I believe this is your game. I believe this is your game.
Yeah. The boys in O3 have been, performing great in several different competitions. There was a while where things weren't really going their way in the competition, and it did look like, they were not up to, their former best performances. But somehow within, recent days, they've been able to sort of rejuvenate their gameplay, find that missing spark. Maybe it's Ace back into the team because, we haven't seen him, for a while. And now that he's back, it does look like he's, coming in and just improving the team overall.
You're right. You're actually right about that. Improving the team, generally is what every single player should be concerned about, and if you do that, to the best of your ability and it starts to show, obviously, everyone will take notice of that. So it is I'm very inclined to see how the rest of these teams would actually hold out when it comes to towards that stage 4, stage 5 circle. Afro Esports, one of those teams that's very, very dominant in Miramar. So hopefully I will be seeing more of that as from them as well. Invictus, completely back to a four-man team in this game after the unfortunate split that they had to bear in the bridge of the last game that did get them eliminated by I believe the guys from Men of Blood in that final engagement. So it did work out for them. I believe they got like 7 or so eliminations, a couple of significant points on the board for them. But hopefully, in Miramar is not necessarily their strongest map, but I believe they can be able to squeeze out a couple of more eliminations just in case of anything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if Invictus will be able to use their ability to eliminate teams fairly very quickly, to boost themselves up onto that leaderboard and overthrow the guys from Habitual Gaming.
All right, we'll continue to see, how that one works. As the boys from Habitual Gaming find themselves in a very great situation, all the way in that top of the leaderboard. If you did miss it, you can just rewind and take a look at that. But we're going to show it as well at the end or the beginning of the next game. But taking a look at the map, you can now see that several different teams are now moving and rotating towards that central spot, and it's looking, quite great for a lot of teams, as there's a lot of space within regions around Impala, Labendita, even Picado and Power Grid are currently, not really occupied right there, as they can all make the rotation. But there's still a lot of teams situated within that center. We'll continue to see if a loose skirmish does definitely pop up between the boys from O3 and several different teams around that region. I do believe it is boys from Fugitive Esports who are lurking around this position, with Arrow and his boys sitting quite comfortable.
Yeah, comfort is the name of the game. The more comfortable you are, the better you will perform. Fugitive Esports are one of those teams that rely heavily on playing very, very comfortably. I mean, you can see that they are just chilling out here in the city, not engaging too much. They already have one elimination courtesy of Arrow, so hopefully they are looking forward to getting more and more eliminations, as the game continues to progress. O3 not too far away from their position as well, but they still have a lot of work to do, rotating from these particular points inside of the next circle, gearing themselves and getting ready, for the engagements that will be coming their way in the nearest future. Like I said, this is a city, so it is very easy for teams to pull up to your position without you even knowing until it is too late. So that is why most of these teams actually play splits, because when a team pulls up into the city, one person is bound to know. So that is the idea here, behind why most of these teams actually tend to play like this. So Fugitive Esports, we gotta look out for them, gotta stay ready, gotta stay strapped, because I am definitely sure that they have a lot under their sleeves for this next game.
Definitely, we saw some great performances coming in from them throughout, the group stages, and we'll definitely see if that one does continue right here as we do move into, the next stage of the zone. We're moving into that stage 2, and a lot of those teams are already hopping into their vehicle, trying as much as possible to find a central spot right there. Be curious to see, who does get into a skirmish courtesy of this, as we do see the boys from EFX making the rotations around the boys from Apex. Now, speaking of Apex, they're one of those teams that definitely, in the beginning of the entire tournament, they were absolutely just balling. They were stomping on every single team that they met, and somehow something has changed. Maybe it is the influx of better teams into the lobby. Things just getting a lot harder for them. But I mean, this is EFX we're talking about. They've not been. I mean, they've had 1 or 2 games that they came in superior on top. But we're not just seeing that regular chicken dinners, that regular massive amount of kills that they were having in the initial stages.
I believe, the more you play, the more teams will be adapting to your play style. I believe that is what is happening to Team Apex right here. After the first wave of qualifiers into the semifinals and the rest of those, those little games that we did have in between, I believe most of these teams have already learned, and again, it is very interesting though that that Team Apex are not one of those teams that are already dominating right now. It's very unfortunate because I've been seeing them, in other tournaments turning up every single time. But unfortunately, it's not. It's just I believe they have something that they don't just gets in the finals. I believe there are some teams that just don't perform in the best sense in the finals right there. Ooh, freak will be falling to Rogue Daddy there. Invictus already again starting to tear through the guys from UGX, and an unfortunate scenario there. Boogeyman trying to get a confirmation on the other side. He peaks up just a little bit too long there, but Daddy will be sending him back surely this time around. And Invictus will be trying their absolute best, but you can see the shots from Rogue Daddy
Rogue
clutching it up.
Daddy, Rogue Daddy, living up right next to Rogue Baby right there. He got himself 3 eliminations and managed to keep their hopes alive. Early on in this fight, they had two bodies that were currently dropped, but he stepped up. He's the daddy of the house, definitely, cleaning up the mess right there. It is Rogue Daddy getting 3 eliminations for the boys from Invictus, and they do start off this game quite well.
Yeah, 3 eliminations though to Rogue's Daddy. Wait a minute, it's not. That is not Rogue Daddy. It's Rogue's Daddy. Oh my.
Rogue's
Okay.
Daddy.
Rogue's
Rogue's Daddy.
Oh, Rogue's Daddy. Oh,
I see.
I see. It says a lot now. Rogue Baby, you're gonna have to explain that one. What that means.
I mean,
Ooh, but I mean, it could be. It's very interesting how that pans out. But ooh, and I believe this is Relentless Esports, if I'm not mistaken. Pika Boy knocked away, but I don't know if the revive will be coming through. I mean, he is in a safe position. I believe the revive should come through there. Robello is in or Nabil is in a very, very unfortunate predicament here. Vehicle and a tree, only sources of cover, while his teammate bleeds away. If it was me, I would definitely go for that reset. I mean, but I don't think he has any smokes on him. Unfortunately, he might just have Pika Boy crawling all the way up. But I believe he's going to be bleeding out. I would. Why would you let your teammate bleed out 5 feet away from you, man? That is just unfortunate.
I'm not sure. It's an enigma to me a lot of times, like why certain teams do allow that. I guess it's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it out there as one of the things I do not understand. Letting your teammates bleed out. But the boys right there from Rootless, losing two of their members to Fugitive Esports, who we talked about quite early on, as one of those teams that has, the potential to do quite well for themselves, but they do find, themselves just rotating away from that position, not looking to take on the action themselves. But it does look like elsewhere, it is the boys from Apex who are now getting into this, coming to the boys from Ultra Rage. As you can see, Moonlight is moving into this particular fight. They've got themselves 1 elimination and they're looking to take this one on right there and go toe to toe with the rest of the players right there from UL. And you can see the shots being let loose by tackles onto this position right here for Apex and Priest.
Team Apex getting it really, really hot here against Ultimate Rage, but unfortunately for them, Phantom is knocked away, and it looks like he might just be confirmed as well. But you can see why the guys from Team Apex already surrounding this position right there. YZZ just on that northern hill, and Moonlight just in front here. And I believe the guys from Apex will be taking this push. It's a 2 versus 4. So all the cards are on the table for Team Apex. This might just be the opportunity to get themselves, 4 eliminations right out the gate as Phantom continues to bleed out right in front right there. Moonlight will be moonlighting just behind, that rock right there. The rest of the team from Ultimate Rage will be holding out just inside of those buildings, just waiting for Moonlight to peek outside, and they might just be waiting to send some bullets in his way, and he will be bleeding out. 2 eliminations going out for Team Apex, and it looks like their work has already been cut out for them by 50%. Ultimate Rage have a whole lot of work to do. To even get out of that position, it is going to require a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of resources, just to not get blown up by guys from Team Apex. You can see Moonlight will be finding, a better angle, a better position, just get an angle, onto Ultimate Rage. And Ultimate Rage, they will definitely not be going out without a fight.
Yeah, definitely. We will see the boys from Ultimate Rage hanging on to their life in that particular one, as the boys from Apex are now currently putting on ground into this location. You can see Moonlight trying as much as possible to send a nade onto that position where Slay is currently at. He will be sending in the nades onto that building, and it doesn't do the required damage onto the boys right there from Ultimate Rage, who are hanging on to this one. You can see him trying as much as possible to get that reinforcement and keep their hopes alive in this particular game. He is getting surrounded by what is a four-man squad coming in from the boys from Apex right there. They've got to get one knock at least, put one body down to the ground to see if they do have a chance to hold on in this particular game. But there's also the third parties coming in, and that third party coming in from the boys from Apex, or sorry, the flanked player coming in from Apex might just do the trick for them.
Ooh, Slay looking towards the right, trying to get an angle there on Moonlight. It might just be very, very interesting there. The smoke's already shielding, but Slay will be knocked away by YZZ. And now Apex, while we're getting their final elimination, they will be sending out Ultimate Rage in 14th place. Another drastic finish for Ultimate Rage right here. Right here, they're finding it so hard, to find their footing in this finals. But now Team Apex already up 4 eliminations. Beautiful play, beautiful flanking position. I knew for a fact, they were just around like sharks trying to get an angle into, a position there. And big shout out to Moonlight for, showing them the way, for moonlighting, the path that they would follow to eliminate the guys from Ultimate Rage.
All right, we're now seeing a skirmish now begin to build up between two teams who, are vying in for that top spot right there. This boys from Royal Academy against Invictus. Invictus, who we did see get into the fights early on, but it does look like both parties are just being very cautious right here. They're hoping, not to lose any, more bodies, as Rogue Baby has been dropped to the ground. But want to try to see if he can get a knock onto Royal Academy right there. But Smoker's definitely just going to get out of that position and try to see if he can hang on to, this game.
There's a whole lot of work to do for Invictus here. Fortunately, Rogue Baby has been sent back into the lobby, so they are playing as a 3-man team here. Ooh, but the grenade is better from Leica Boy there. Most Wanted will be swallowing that Easter egg immediately there and falling to his knees. And now Invictus up 2 players alone. Royal Academy have this one in the bag, surely. If all they have to do is play around the areas rear and squeeze out the guys from Invictus. As you can see here, Rogue Daddy will be trying his best just to pull Smoker all the way back, but Invictus have a whole lot of work to do if they want to go for that revive, as Snip is still on the northern side, trying to be on the off angle against the guys from Royal Academy. Royal Academy doing a fantastic job. They are advancing forward, as you can tell, but Snip is there. Actually, he's going to lava, drops him immediately. Now this might just be the opportunity the guys from Invictus have been looking for an opportunity just to get that revive up. But no, Rogue Daddy will be taking that advance, will be taking that push, probably will get the confirmation there onto the guys from Royal Academy. But Most Wanted finally spotted that and sent back into the lobby, and now it's 2 players left for the guys from Invictus, and Snip and Rogue Daddy have to do a fantastic job of keeping at bay the guys from Royal Academy from making that push. The higher ground advantage working extra and double time for the guys from Invictus, but hopefully, they will be able to find a way to navigate and get out of dodge. I mean, the play zone is not even here.
Man, absolutely wild stuff coming in right there from Royal Academy as they hang on in that particular one. It looks like for a minute the boys from Invictus were going to have, an upper hand due to the higher ground that they had, but somehow the boys from Royal Academy held on to their life. We're now seeing the zone move all the way towards that southeastern region, and if we take a look at the way the zone's going to building up, there's a lot of it that's situated within that water, and my goodness, I do hate zones like this. I do hate them. I hate them so much, man.
Well, contrary to you, I love zones like this because it requires a whole lot, of mental fortitude,
as a player,
and planning.
As a player, come on, man, come on. You cannot, like, my goodness, man. Zones like this are nightmare.
This is actually Team Apex. Royal Academy might just be running to Team Apex right there. Yes, it is Team Apex. And Moonlight will be spotted and dropped away. And Smoker will hide behind the rock right there. Beautiful play coming in for the guys from Royal Academy. A fantastic job of holding out. But they are in a very, very dangerous position right there because the bullets are still continuing to ring outside. One after the other, the guys from Royal Academy start to fall. Team Apex not giving them the benefit of the doubt at all. They continue to spray the bullets one after the other. Apex now making the advance. Fireboy on the right-hand side, pulling up with his buggy there. He does make it very, very close to the scene. He pops out and he might just get dropped right here. He tries to the left-hand side and he is going to get that first knock, but he is going to be dropped immediately by Smoker. Absolutely fantastic stop there coming in from Lyra and Smoker, going in hand, and the revive's already coming right through. Team Apex are in a serious deficit right here, and here comes EFX as well. Third party central, one after the other. The numbers start to drop. Royal Academy up 6 eliminations, and they still have all their players up.
Man, the boys from Royal Academy fighting on for their life in this particular position. You can see them just getting on the revives. It looked for a moment like they were down to the last guy. They've got those eliminations. They've got the bodies back up right here. You can see it's just the third parties that are trying as much as possible to keep them at bay. They're like cockroaches. You know, they just find a way to stay alive, Chris.
It is always going to be very impressive, you know, the way guys from Royal Academy actually did make it out of here. I mean, it was it looked like it was all done for them, you know, crashing into a team unprepared, you know, not having a single idea that there was a team right in front of you, and getting 2 of your players knocked away, 3 of your players knocked away, and still managing to survive the ordeal. And it wasn't just any team, it was Team Apex, but somehow they managed to hang on, you know. And just like you said, you know, they're just cockroaches. It is just so difficult to kill the guys from Royal Academy, and that is to tell you that the experience and the expertise of surviving, you know, those kinds of engagements just says a whole lot about them.
All right, so now the hunter becomes the hunted as the boys from Apex are getting pushed by Royal Academy. You can see them just inching quite closer and closer to this position. They got about a minute to make sure that they take on this fight right here. They cannot delay as the zone is pushing into this position, and you know we're moving into that state 5 of the zone, and both teams have got to make their move. I usually don't like him in Rama, you know, fighting, you know, outside that zone. My belief is, you know, just get out of this position, find yourself into that zone. But the push is already beginning to happen as the boys from Royal Academy are making their way into this particular one. And ooh, look at that coming in from YZ. Let's see, does get a knock onto one of the players right there from Royal Academy, and he can do some massive damage here. He drops 1, he drops 2, and would you look at that, Priest?
Ooh, that is what you call backstabbing of the highest order. YZZ doing a fantastic job there of being the thorn in the side of the guys from Royal Academy as he knocks 3 of them rather, clean. And that will be the end of Royal Academy as the placer will be claiming like a boy. And that is the end.
Man,
Of the guys from Royal Academy, courtesy of Starlight. I believe, what was that, Blessing? That was actually Blessing that got the final elimination on Tokyo there, and that is going to be the end of Royal Academy. Fantastic job coming in from the guys from Team Apex. They're up 8 eliminations, and that is what a way to finish that engagement.
And we talked about them quite early on, you know, not being able to get into their stride, but somehow they've managed to continue to get those kills right here, even sitting down with a 2-man squad. But now turning our sights onto the boys right there from Rootless, and his next is trying to put in the work. He's trying to get those extra bit of elimination. He has one of the players, Nabello, who's currently dropped down. He does blow that vehicle and now turn the side onto Asado, and Asado, courtesy of his teammate, will get sent back into the lobby. Team Apex currently sitting down with Team O3. Apex is still in my brain. Currently sitting down with 3 eliminations right here. They've got a full squad, so they can go on to continue menace in that zone.
Ooh, 3 eliminations, you know, and this is the kind of performance that O3 are usually very, very successful, you know, at managing. They start to, you know, increase their numbers as the zone continues to progress. I mean, we are in zone 5 and they've got 4 eliminations already, you know, and that can tell you that they are sweeping teams as they are approaching, you know, into different zones of the play zone right there. Team EFX already have their sights set onto, you know, Apex. There's Blessing and YZZ just trying to find a way inside. I don't know if they have any vehicles. Yeah, okay, they do have a buggy actually. But now it's going to be very, very tricky. see as YZZ is still going to get snapped and tapped away by Reverb. He might just be spotted immediately there, but Reverb makes the mistake of exposing himself just a little bit too long, and he is going to be dropped away by Afro Esports. Peachy will be pulling up to that corner, and he will be confirmed almost immediately. And now EFX have to reconvene and reset their plans, because that for a fact is not going to work. Afro Esports will be the thorn in their side, as Peachy will just be spotting them and eliminating one of their players, reducing them to a 3-man team, as Afro Esports are up 3 eliminations and they are still a complete squad.
Now the boys from Afro Esports are turning their sights onto the boys from O3 right there. You can see Peachy, trying to go in for the juggler as he does try to get a knock onto one of the players right there from Ross from O3, but he's going to need support. I mean, I know you're the man. I know you can take them on, but definitely you do need the support of your teammates to make the push onto a team like O3, who has one of the players going to drop down, and there's no name who's down on the ground, and you can see Peachy, just retreating into the buildings for now, just trying to make sure that he finds himself in a favored position away from the boys of O3, who definitely will be getting that revive.
03, very, very comfortable in that little position, but it's an unfortunate setup for them because they do not have the play zone. They do need to be on the move very, very shortly. The best course of action would be to storm the building right in front of them and eliminate the guys from Afro Esports. But again, Afro are in a very, 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 very tricky split. So the moment you decide to rear your head, there's a chance that you will get knocked away. Afro Esports, very, very comfortable there. But again, Coco is tagged down to about 20 HP, has to be careful if he's going to be exposing himself, a little bit further just to get those numbers up. And Coco, I believe, is the only one inside of the play zone. The rest of his teammates are still hanging outside, trying to, force the guys from O3 just a little bit behind. But they decided to hop into their vehicles and find a little bit of greener pastures on that eastern side of the play zone. You can see Ace is going to be making an advance just to move himself and his vehicle to a better position inside there. And now he is going to be working out, but he's going to be tagged up almost immediately. And the vehicle will be serving as a little bit of a shield, fortunately, for the guys from O3, and that is a little bit of a wise play coming in from Ace there, blowing up his pickup truck. But hopefully, at least for now, they will be holding out this position just a little bit too longer.
The boys on O3 do find themselves in a very sticky situation as several different teams are around them. They've got to move all the way into that zone. So moving on to that stage 5, they've got the boys from CLS all the way in their eastern region right there. And on the other end, they've got the team EFX. So Danny Brown and his boys are putting up onto this location. And Ace, the last one, does get sent backpacking into the lobby. Now we're down with 3 teams right here. It is Afro versus CLS and as well as the boys from EFX. So we'll see how this one does continue to play out as the boys from Afro Esports are currently down with a 3-man squad. They've got 6 eliminations to their name. The boys from EFX are just with 2 players, but they've lost their main man Reverb, who currently had 6 kills in the game before he got taken out. But now the boys from Afro are pulling up onto this region. Can EFX hold their own now that the boys, their main player Reverb, has been gunned down? They're left with just 1 player. As you can see, the knocks coming through, and he does manage carry. The Carl does manage to hold it down for them. It would have been nice if his name was Carry. I'd be like, carrying the team. But anyways, it is the boys, EFX now looking to get that revive. Afro are down to the last guy. They're down to just Coco, who does, hop into a vehicle right next to CLS. And now, I believe he should have moved towards that location where EFX was at, but probably, the wrong decision. Now it's a 2v4 coming down between CLS and EFX, Bruce.
Ooh, Cyclone Shield. I don't know who let them cook, but the food done they done. Pyro. Forced outside by the play zone, peeks inside, tries to get that first look, but they are definitely not going to be getting this one, as EFX will be falling to the play zone. They will not be giving the elimination to Cyclone Shield. They will be taking the 2nd place finish with the significantly 11 eliminations that they did manage to get. But Cyclone Shield, with a better number, they did get 12 instead, and that chicken dinner to boot. Now that is a performance for the book. Cyclone Shield once again showing how crazy they can get. Afro Esports just coming in clutch there in 3rd place with 6 eliminations. O3 unfortunately getting caught out by Cyclone Shield there in 4th place, but they did manage to squeeze out 4 eliminations to boot right there. I mean, Fugitive Esports in 5th place, eliminations, no pressure in 6th with no eliminations, and Team Apex in 7th place. They were just able to muster up 8 eliminations. A big shout out to those teams.
All right, so amazing stuff right here as we did see the boys from CLS get that winner chicken dinner right here. We'll be right back for some more action, and when we come back, we will take a look at the leaderboard where all those teams are currently situated. We'll take a quick break and we'll see you soon.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive, get down and dirty, act like the bad guy. You want some love, you like when you feel like calling at midnight. You got the best of me, you got me losing sleep. I've been hopeful, baby, I was hoping maybe that you cross my path. I've been sinking lately, and it's hard to move. Think I'm stuck on you. We're in transits, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wonder, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. We only get this life, no guarantees and stars that line. Follow your passion trail and try to keep an open mind. Hiding it by myself, no guarantees you'll find me. Said if it's faith you'll find me, leaving the past behind. We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wanna know, can we trust the stars above to let us know? I'd go. Whoa. don't know how I treated you wrong. Maybe that's it. I treated you poorly, made you great coffee, hid you from the cops. I used to make you calm, kissing and massaging. It's days like these that make me wanna go and try things, busting up the seats. Now I just wanna go and rob things. Made a lot of greed. Now I just wanna go shopping. I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, raindrops fall, sun goes by, whole new day, trying to get by. Seeing you cry, it's made my day now. Trying new ways now, going all crazy now. Used to be around you, but it's a whole new place now. Used to go alone, but it's a whole new trade now. Oh, am I gone? And it's a whole new race, yeah. But I won't ever go lay down. I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh.
Det var första gången vi möttes, våra blickar bara möttes. Kommer du ihåg det igen? Kommer du ihåg det igen? Du vill ha icy little fingers, då du vet det chalas. All in, ingen broms, schackmatt på din vänsterhand. Du är så viktig baby, ja du allians. Du är försiktig baby, men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby, men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby, ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Aldrig titta på någon annan, varför du med annan? Kom var med mig baby, aldrig lita på någon annan. Finns ingen annan, jag vill ha min chockarinna. Mosa och saving är sinna. Jag kommer alltid ride with you. 100 gubbar klart jag die for you. Du är så viktig baby, ja du allians. Du är försiktig baby, men du gav mig en chans. Det är 50-50 baby, men det är balans. Jag växlar upp med dig baby, ingen annan. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Det var fan ingen dans på någon ros innan jag träffade någon som dig. Du är mitt liv baby. Visa mig vart du finns. Du kommer väl till min city? Nej, jag vet att det finns. Kom det är bra lives and all nights, yeah. Jag vet att jag min ni kör det. Skön social smart good lady. Jag tvivlar det. Visa mig var du finns, yeah.
let's get into the game. All right, guys. So welcome back. We've had some interesting, very interesting games so far, and I'm Priester currently here. We're going to be getting into what is our third game of the night, and let's get into it quickly.
Ooh, Sandhawk vibes. Violence map. Oh, you can see the guys from EFX just enjoying themselves, getting a little bit of loot on. I don't think they have any teams to be worried about just yet. There's a whole lot of teams out here inside of bootcamp though. Active Gaming will be learning the ordeals of how to navigate the treacherous areas of bootcamp. I do believe they have some a couple of teams around them. Afro Esports will be one of those teams hanging around. Hunter is trying to find an angle into the middle building, the main building of contention for bootcamp. I mean, fire controlling the main building. I think that's the strategy for controlling bootcamp.
Yeah, definitely. You want to make sure that you're holding, what is a good position around here, and it'll be curious to see how this one, continues to play out for the boys of Active Gaming as they're pretty much in a three-way fight. They've got Invictus to worry about as well as the boys from Afro Esports, and you can see that Invictus is currently, just lurking around this position, and Godye holding on that DBS. We'll see if he can do the required damage to take on the guys right there from Invictus. But there's also Afro who's now putting into that mix and takes down one of the players right there from Active Gaming.
Ooh, Active Gaming in very treacherous waters here. Anes is going to be knocked away, courtesy of the guys from Afro Esports. But Gordier will be holding out this position against the guys from Invictus. Invictus, very treacherous team. Is going to be very hard, for them to be taking these two fights on two fronts. Active Gaming will be very stretched thin. You're fighting against 8 other players, so it's going to require a lot from them. But fortunately, Anes will be brought all the way back up. Invictus circling around like sharks because they can smell blood in the water, and this might just be the chance or the entry they've been looking for. As you can see, Rogue's daddy rather has been circling around that area trying to find somewhere to enter from. I don't know if they are aware of Godier's position, but Godier might just use the element of surprise, and Godier makes that mistake. He's going to be tagged up a little bit too small, but he is going to use the DBS to save his ass just in time. The DBS to the rescue. Again, Godier is going to get that knock beautifully, and now is an opportunity for him to get another knock, but he is going to be falling all the way behind there. First elimination, courtesy of Gordier, will be sending one of the players from Invictus back into the lobby. But the rest of Invictus will be pulling out inside of the warehouse. But unfortunately, Skinny will be sent back into the lobby.
All right, Active Gaming in a very dire situation right there, as they do lose a couple of buddies, and it's just left with Serge, who is currently still holding it down for them right here, as they will get sent back into the lobby right there by the boys from Invictus. Invictus losing one of their players, and right now it does look like we might see a fight going down between the boys from Afro and the boys from Invictus. Active Gaming, for me, what do you think was wrong in that position? For me, it was like they were fighting on two ends.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. They were taking 2 fights on 2 different positions with not a lot of information. It was basically Gordier in a 1 versus 4 against the guys from Invictus. After he got that first knock and the elim to boot as well. The rest of the guys from Invictus were now aware of his position, and they knew that he was a solo player, and they were able to snuff him out very quickly. And the rest of his teammates were busy, fighting Afro Esports. So they were getting caught out one after the other. It was an unfortunate, scenario for them. And I did talk about holding the middle position, in boot camp. And that is where the guys from Afro Esports were actually situated, holding out that middle position, trying to squeeze in, Active Gaming with one of their players inside of the warehouses. And that was the disadvantage, that sent them back into the lobby relatively quickly. Invictus, on the other hand, however, did sacrifice one of their players. But you can see 2 eliminations to Afro Esports and 2 to Invictus. So they did, share their eliminations. But unfortunately for Invictus, they did lose one of their players, courtesy of Gordier's DBS. And but then again, it's very interesting to see how they are going to be making this advance towards that top position. But Peachy there with a beautiful strike knocks Rogue Baby clean off onto the ground. The Molotov starts to burn on the left-hand side. as Coco is trying to find his way inside of this warehouse position. But report 66 trying to get a knock there. M762 in hand, probably switch it to the M4 if the bullet starts to run out. But Coco is going to use the advantage just to peek a little bit more. And the grenade does come out, but he is going to be confirmed. Afro Esports come out on top, 5 eliminations to them. And this might just be the beginning of something great.
Definitely the beginning of something great, the beginning of something great right there. As we're seeing a lot of those teams, just hanging on, for their life, all the way right there at Kampong. We do see two teams, just going into a skirmish here. There's the boys from Royal Academy up against 21st Century. Now, 21st Century, another team that has not been able to, put the points on the leaderboard. They have one of the players currently dropped down into the ground. It does look like they've gotten one elimination
Debuted.
as well until like boy, and we'll see how this one continues to pan out for them. They be able to get that revive onto the boy. Baby is pretty much that player who we've seen him many times get into very good situations and get clutches. So you definitely don't want to be losing the main man, the IGL. But regardless, we'll see how this fight goes down. He's currently sitting down in the open, and they're looking to see if they can get that revive. But will the boys from Real Academy get that confirmation? That's left to be seen.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of work that's going to be required, to get that revive. Or Baby is in a very dangerous, exposed position, but the rest of his teammates will be having his back, at least to see if they can get their numbers all the way back up. But Baby is going to be bleeding out on that western edge as Royal Academy will be sneezing out to get their first elimination, unfortunately. And now it's a 3 versus 3, so all evened out once more. I think Baby just got to overextend a little bit too much on the western side. He got blown away, unfortunately, and Royal Academy will be taking back their mandate, as you can see. And that is the idea of when it comes to playing, these positions, these kinds of areas. It requires a whole lot of carefulness, when you start to take your pushes or when you start to take your engagements. But Tokyo being spotted on that northern side, again, might just be spotted out and dropped away as power will be found out. And Royal Academy, again, starting to lay the fire all the way out to the guys from 21st Century. Again, they are getting caught out. Well, that's a beautiful spray from Ace there. Beautiful use of the pre-fire, walk into the bullets. That's the idea right there. But Ace again is going to be just running around at the bottom floor, and this might just be the opening that 21st Century need.
In 21st Century, looking to see if they can take out those boys right there from Royal Academy. You can see Tokyo coming onto the ground, trying to see if he can get that elimination, but he's been dealt a whole lot of damage by the boy Ace MVP right there, who will now be looking to see if he can put up more of that damage. But look at that sound coming in from the DBS, can definitely scare anybody away. So you can see Ace just trying to take things careful right there as he heard those sounds.
I mean, power is still knocked away, so they know for a fact this is a 2 versus 3 because that revive has not been settled just yet. And you can see all the rest of the players from Royal Academy swinging the DBSs around. So for a fact you have to be careful. Do you want to make this engagement a close quarter thing? Do you want to risk the DBS touching your chest? Those are the questions that the guys from Royal Academy will be asking themselves, and 21st Century as well. But Ace is still going to be maintaining the high ground. This might just be the opportunity he's looking for to jump right out and get that first knock. But 21st Century are playing this very, very quiet, very, very slow still. But the guys from Royal Academy do have 2 eliminations already. They started to pick apart 21st Century one after the other. One after the other.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for that opportunity to begin to, get this one quick and done and dusted, as they will be looking to move themselves into that zone. So the First Century currently, just holding on this position quite careful. And anyone, I do feel like there's some PTSD coming in front of the First Century, and that DBS, looking to say, not looking to take on that close quarter fight. They're backing off away from this particular one, and they'll just be headed into a jackpot mode right now. It's not a lot of times that you see Roy and Ace, just jackpotting away from a fight. Usually they would take it on right down to the very end, but that's definitely what's going to be happening in that particular region as we turn our sights onto the zone right there, and within that center we do see the boys from Ultimate Rage, getting into a fight.
Ultima Rage have not been the luckiest bunch, coming into the finals today. They've been really, really struggling. They've already lost one of their players again in this engagement against the guys from EFX, and Supra is not letting them hear breathe a word of it as well as they continue to make the advance towards tackles here. And this might just be an unfortunate setup right now. He has the DBS in hand, but the third party from the rear end is still going to catch him from Afro Esports, and Ultima Rage once again have been called out and eliminated significantly very, very early in the game.
Now, a couple of teams not being able to replicate the performances that they had in the initial stages coming in right here, and somehow not being able to produce those same level of performances. But we'll see if they can rejuvenate in the next game. We do still have one more game to count after this one, and we'll see if they're able to replicate that for the team. But currently saying that right here, we do have the boys from EFX who have gotten themselves 3 eliminations so far, and we'll see if that does somehow manage to turn things around for the guys.
Ooh, there's a whole lot of interesting plays coming in from the EFX here. They do have 3 eliminations, but they are still in an exposed area. If a team does pull up to this area, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to make an advance, especially on that northern edge. So they do have to move out of this position and secure, a significantly less central position inside of that play zone. You can see Reverb just trying to get a hint onto the guys from Team Apex. YZZ is just behind that rock there. The moment he peeks outside, he might just be in a very dangerous position, but Fireboy will be the one spotted out and knocked away by Pyro there, and EFX already starting again to lay waste to the guys from Team Apex, but unfortunately it's still a long distance out, so I don't think they are going to be making that push, or make that advance towards that northern area there. But Team EFX showing how crazy they can get.
Yeah, absolutely. They're showing, what they're capable of. They're looking to continue to build up on that map. Speaking about the map, let's take a look at where, several different teams are currently situated and positioned at. The boys from EFX are currently sitting down, not too far away from EFX, with a couple of eliminations to their name. We'll continue to see how that one does build out for all of this, guys. But Priest, what do you think about this zone? Just moving towards that central spawn. I think it's going to be absolutely violent.
Yeah, I mean, violence is the name of the game. Don't get it twisted, But then, 21st century right now is an unfortunate scenario that they do have, where they are situated inside of that play zone. But Team Apex having a blast of a position, they do have a fantastic position. Although they could be spotted out by AFX once more if they're not careful enough. But they do have 2 eliminations to work with, at least for the time being. So hopefully, the eliminations would count for whatever they will count for. But I'm looking forward to seeing if these teams will be able to maintain those eliminations, because Shy has been knocked away for Fugitive Esports. It's all left to Arrow. He is going to be carrying the mantle for the guys from Fugitive Esports. But he is going to be a very tricky scenario where he is, because he will definitely, be spotted by the guys from Team Apex on that northern hill position. But Shy, I believe the revive will be coming on through. But the rest of the guys from Fugitive Esports, with the 2 players just left. And again, this idea of getting this revive without pop, there's a whole lot that could happen if they are able to navigate away from this position and get out of the sandwich.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, continue, Chris.
But then Fugitive Esports, they have a better idea right now with this advance that they're making towards these couple of houses here just outside of boot camp. And now they can focus on Afro Esports and not worry about Team Apex, at least for the time being. The distance between the 2 teams has been drastically reduced, and it has been increased on the other end for Team Apex. So if Apex are going to be pushing into this area, they would now enter the sightlines of Afro Esports, and Afro Esports would be looking towards that area at the moment Team Apex start to surface on the horizon, and a couple of shots might just start to ring outside of boot camp towards that northern area, towards the guys from Team Apex, especially Fireboy and YZZ, because they do tend to be leading the charge when it comes to making the push or making the advances and getting a little bit of an angle for the rest of the team to, 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 Fugitive Esports Big shout out to them though. They've been surviving thus far. Is zone 3 moving into zone 4. The play zone is going to be closing out very, very shortly. Going to give us an idea of where it is going next. Going to be a deciding factor on how the rest of these teams will take this advantage, to make the advance inside of the next place. As you can see, boot camp and its surrounding environment is still inside of the play zone. And now these teams, all they have to do is maintain. Fugitive Esports still outside of boot camp. Afro Esports still lurking as well. The guys from I believe O3 north of that hill position will be making the advance as well. Fugitive finally making a quick movement out of that little house. They will be moving from compound to compound, I'm sure, because playing inside of these areas is going to be very, very tricky. Afro Esports sitting very, very pretty in the center of the circle there. Afro Esports equally just towards that eastern side, but they do have a little bit of play zone to work with. So hopefully, that would not spell danger or the end for them. They're still within the sidelines of Team EFX, but hopefully that is going to be able to work out something interesting for them going into the next phase of the circle.
And the next phase of the circle is definitely going to be looking really jam packed as we've got so many different teams now trying to get into that central spot. Even the boys from Real Academy are inching quite closer towards that region where Apex is currently at, and the boys from O3 are not so far away as well from the boys right there from EFX. So there's so many different teams who are now beginning to each quite closer to each other. It does look like CLS and the boys right there from Apex have gotten themselves into a skirmish. As you can now see, the Stoner has been dropped. It's left with just two players right there for the boys from CLS as they hop into their vehicle, and they're moving away from one team but just each edging quite closer towards another. Is the boys from MOB who might be able to do a lot of damage in this one. And you can see one of the players gets dropped down and two, and that will be the end for the boys from CLS.
Ooh, and this is the thing that always happens almost every single time. You win a chicken dinner and you get eliminated very, very quickly in the subsequent game. We've seen this happen so many times, and it doesn't fail to surprise me when it does pop right through. But Relentless Esports will be on the receiving end of play zone damage right here. As you can see, Nabil just popping a grenade inside, and it is going to connect just a little bit towards Pyro there. EFX in serious trouble, and another grenade comes out again, and EFX are in serious danger here as Nabil is just trying his absolute best to rid himself of that entire engagement. But then Afro Esports still holding out of that boot camp area as they continue to lace the shots to every single op that comes within their horizon. But Nabil is still here trying his absolute best just to rid himself of the guys from the team EFX. But they are going to be rotating around those parts and around those corners, and they are going to be trying their absolute best just to hold on for a little bit longer. Reverb makes it just inside of the warehouses, calling on to the rest of his teammates to join him. Pyro listening in on the corner. They're trying to join his teammates inside, and he will be pulling up just in time.
Man, absolutely amazing stuff. Now the boys from EFX have got to find themselves into that zone where the boys from Afro are currently holding quite a good position. You can see them; they do have 9 eliminations to themselves, and it is a really, really tough time going down on the lobby so far. But speaking about the lobby, we do have the boys from EFX who are also getting themselves into a skirmish. The boys from Roy Academy who are pulling up onto this location. If Apex actually has 2 players who are currently left in this position, you can see Moonlight does hop into a vehicle looking to get out of Dutch right there, as they do know that the boys from Royal Academy are pulling up onto this location. MOB is also coming into the mix. It is really tough right there for a lot of these teams to get themselves into that great spot in the zone.
Yeah, it's all about having a great position inside of that play zone, and that says a lot. Royal Academy is still battling demons here. They are going to be able to add another elimination onto their belt right there, but the play zone is starting to cut on their heels. Player after player starts to fall, and he is going to be tagged up all the way down to about 10 HP. He is not going to be making it out of this one. Surely he cannot get that revive. He is going to be confirmed immediately by Men of Blood, as Men of Blood will be pulling up to the scene as well. Pyro hiding behind the rocks, or rather behind the crates there, just so he will not be spotted. Is taking so much blue zone damage, as Afro Esports will still be holding out of boot camp and squeezing the rest of these teams for whatever whatever they are worth, getting elimination after elimination. Pyro still doing his absolute best, but lobby will be sent back into the lobby. That healing strat is not going to be working today. It's not going to be saving them today, but it looks like he's working for Pyro as he continues to survive. 7 teams left inside of the game here and 15 players in the cut. EFX up 4 eliminations, and I believe that is where there, they draw the line. They're not gonna get any more than that one at all.
Man, the boys from Afro still holding their own right there within the zone. It is Hunter and these boys who are trying as much as possible to see if they can take out the last guy right there from Apex. You can see Hunter making that move. He's not being patient. He's not holding down that DBS coming through. Does miss right there. And that's the thing about the DBS here. Sometimes it is absolutely amazing, but if you miss, you get dropped out.
Yeah, you do not want to miss. Your accuracy has to be pinpoint. Absolutely pinpoint. Afro Esports doing the Lord's work here. They're just decreasing every single number of all the teams inside of the lobby, one after the other. Habitual gaming somehow have made it into the top 4, and they continue to survive. Hunter's there, hunting all the ops. He gets a knock and a confirmation to boot as well. And now the teams are continuing to lose numbers courtesy of the guys from Afro Esports. I believe they're up 17 eliminations, 10 eliminations to Peachy, and that is what you call superstitious backbreaking activity coming in for him. And finally, Pyro will succumb to the play zone. Nexus will fall to the play zone as well. Play zone at this point has 20 KD. All of these teams are starting to drop one after the other. And again, that is going to be a confirmation there, courtesy of Peachy. Afro Esports will reign supreme and take that winner chicken dinner with a whopping 19 eliminations. Fire.
Whew, absolutely amazing stuff coming in from the guys from Afro Esports right there. As they do get themselves the maximum eliminations of the day, 19 of those, and get themselves 29 points. Definitely we'll see what that does mean at the end of the day on the entire leaderboard for the teams, as we will be looking to see if they do find themselves all the way on top of that leaderboard. Amazing game, Priest. What do you think about? What did you think about that game?
I mean, it was played to perfection by Afro Esports. They held boot camp, did all they needed to do from there. They never left boot camp. They were spread thin. After eliminating active gaming, they just held boot camp on all 4 sides and started to take out teams one after the other. They even took some engagement outside of boot camp, but they were still inside of boot camp, not to lose their spots, not to lose their angles. They continued to shoot at any single thing that moved, on the horizon, the north side, especially when the guys from Fugitive Esports and Team Apex got into a little bit of the squabble. They made sure that Royal Academy also felt the brunt as well. Even EFX, so much work coming in from Afro Esports. They did a fantastic job of holding out. Big shout out to Peachy. He is the man. He is the one that gets the job done.
All right, so amazing stuff going down for the boys from Afro Esports. Peachy, I do believe, got 10 of those eliminations, or 11 of those eliminations,
11.
actually. But we'll be right back for some more action right here. See if the boys from Afro can replicate this performance that they had in Sandhawk. And we'll catch you guys in a couple of moments. See you soon. All right. All right, my beautiful people. I know we've seen a lot of action, but we're coming here with a huge apology. Today, there's been a lot of technical difficulties, and somehow, our we couldn't get, some of the results for, some games as much as we wanted to. So we're going to have to scrap the day, and we don't want to continue like this. So we're going to start all over again. Apologies to some teams who have had maximum kills. I know Afro Esports are going to come from my neck, but you guys are my people. You guys are my people, okay? Yeah, my guys. I beg. Don't give me up. Don't give me up. Today started off with, we had to handle production ourselves, and that means we couldn't really pay attention to a lot. Things were just missing, just slipping from the cracks. But we're going to come back tomorrow a lot more prepared and make sure that nothing like this happens again. I do apologize. So we're going to continue same time tomorrow, with or without the API, okay? With or without the API, we're going to be here, and we're going to make sure that we have more observers watching the game and we don't miss out on anything, all right? So, from me, Fire and Priest, it is bye-bye, it is good night, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.